Yeah, what's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here. We're here and ready for part 3 of our series. Can you believe it? Pretty excited with the response so far. You guys are crazy watching this stuff already. I'm very happy. Thank you for your support. Definitely want to keep this bad boy going. A couple things that I want to point out. I messed up earlier. I missed Agent Coulson destroyer gun. Basically, he's got a big gun. Alright, anyway. So I missed that earlier. And Idra Elbis, if I could learn to pronounce his name. So there we go. I'm sure there were some other screw-ups. You guys let me know, and I'll do what I can to update. But alas, here we are in Washington, D.C. with the immortal Iron Fist and the Iron Legion. So, Danny Rand, man, this guy is awesome. He's just, I don't know, he's cool, man. I was never really necessarily a huge Iron Fist fan until Disney Infinity. His character in Disney Infinity is by far and away my favorite. And I don't know, like, just the art style they did with him, his superpower move was awesome. I cannot wait for the Netflix show, and I know I've asked it in about 4 or 5 videos. I don't know who is going to be playing Danny Rand here, but my only word of advice and encouragement is to cast him right. He should be of Asian descent, whether he's Asian American is fine, but you know, I want this done right. You don't just pick a random white guy, because you know, I mean, I guess if you get one that's like ridiculously sick at karate, then cool. But this character is great. I mean, honestly, I love this character. I don't really know what that's all about. I don't feel like it does anything special. But anyway, look at the karate kicks. I love it, man. This is a great character. His stance, everything about him. He was in the last game, but you know, they've got all the defenders in this one. I think they did that as a little bit of fan service. You know, they're not having the Netflix versions of the characters, but the characters are still in the game. Next up, we have Iron Legion. He can fly. He can basically do most of the stuff, and if not everything, that Iron Man can do. The one thing I don't understand about this character, it's supposed to be a peacekeeper, and he does this little slit throat thing. Like, I don't know what that's all about. And obviously you can see the 1, I think that's a 1 on his chest. So I think that's like number 1. I love the costume, though. It's a really cool costume for the Iron Legion. And, you know, I'm sure it would look good on Iron Man himself. But anyway, next up we've got the breadth of Iron Man armor. So here we go, Mark 1. I've done a separate Iron Man video, so you can watch that one. I'll actually link that underneath the part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, where I show off all the different armors. So I'm just going to quickly run through these. We got Mark 1. You've got Mark 5. And these are all the animations. I'm literally going to run right through them all. I'm not going to really talk too much about them because I did that in the last one. So there you go. There's Mark 5. Here's Mark 6. Robert Downey Jr., like, honestly, they need to sign him to a contract to just play Iron Man for the now and the rest of the time. Mark 7. Like, honestly, what else does he really have to do? I want him to be Iron Man forever.
Most unconvincing costumes I've ever seen. You guys make awful street performers.
There you go. Also, there's Mark 7. So Mark 16. I've fallen in love with this armor. Like, this is definitely my favorite armor. I love it. It's the stealth and like nightclub armor. So so yeah, there you go. I love this armor. It's just so sick. It goes invisible. So there you go. The Heartbreaker. This was always a personal favorite of mine. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's just the armor that I used for the longest time in Marvel Heroes. It was like a special free armor that you got from Razor. So there you go. There's the Heartbreaker for Mark 17. Next, you've got Iron Man Mark 25. I believe this is the Striker.
Get a pretty good feeling. Nothing out of the ordinary
Love it.
happened today.
Now, I think this is the one that goes really fast. No. I guess not. One of them runs fast. I don't remember which one it is, but anyway. Also, they launch themselves into the sky. Booyah. So, love the way he lands like Iron Man because, well, he is Iron Man. So, moving on, we've got the Silver Centurion. Now, I didn't actually... I didn't actually unlock this one. I used the cheat code because he came with a cheat code if you got the minifig that they had as a pre-order bonus. So there you go, the Silver Centurion. Next we have the Mark 40. Oh, hey. This is the shotgun armor. And this is the one that goes sort of fast. But it doesn't look like you can actually do the speed up. Because every time you try to speed up, you stop. So there you go, the shotgun. We've got Mark 42. Alright, so we got the Mark 42. Alright, we've got the Mark 43. So they use that animation a couple times. Alright, and we've got the Mark 45. Using that animation again as well. Lazy. You promised me one for everybody. Alright, maybe not. I don't know. Superior Iron Man. Now, here's something I want to point out about Superior Iron Man. What I love about it. This is probably my favorite of the Iron Man armors. Look at his eyes. His eyes even glow. Love, love, love this armor. This is definitely my favorite. The star boost. Look at his eyes. That's so cool. He just looks so sick in there. Anyway, last but certainly not least, everybody's favorite, the Hulkbuster. Now, I've heard some people say they're not happy with this one compared to the last game, Marvel Superheroes. But, you know, this looks more like the Hulkbuster. That one was really kind of small. It was barely a big fig. It was like Hulk size. This definitely looks more like a Lego Hulkbuster. So while the other one might have been smoother and looked a little bit more together, I still really respect and like this one a lot. So that is the Iron Men. And then, of course, you have Mark 38, the Igor. See, Igor is kind of more like what Hulkbuster was last time. And just look at how much bigger Hulkbuster is now. So here you got Igor. I like Igor. Igor can do the base jump. Can do the base jump. All right. I also, when I do the base jump, I love like doing the flying elbow. All right. So he does the flying fist smash. So there you go. That is the Mark 38 Igor. And then you've got the Iron Monger, and Iron Monger looks awesome. It's too bad you can't be, is it Odabaya? I can never get his name right. Odabaya Stain, something like that. It's too bad you can't, like, shrink him down. He can fly. But you know what I love about it? Watch his feet. This is the attention to detail. When he launches himself up, oh, look at his feet, how they don't perfectly like take off. He has to kind of catch his grip because, you know, in the movie, you know, Ironmonger wasn't able to fly as well. He is a little. He looks like a little midget though compared to Hulkbuster. So anyway, there's Iron Monger. I think a lot of you guys are gonna like him. Iron Patriot. Obviously, this is, War Machine. This is the Don Cheadle version of Iron Patriot, and for me, Iron Patriot is always going to be Norman Osborn. I mean, I understand why they did it. It's a really cool armor, very American, but for me, Iron Patriot is Norman Osborn. It's when Norman Osborn took over S.H.I.E.L.D. I think he was like the Secretary of Defense. Dark Reign is one of my favorites. I love it. That whole era of comics, like 2006 through like 2012 or so, was so epic. I don't know. So I'm just gonna pretend this is Norman Osborn. So he can't take his mask off anyway. Let's get rid of Hulkbuster over here. After Iron Patriot, we have Jack of Hearts. I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know enough about Jack of Hearts. I'm pretty sure he's evil. I'm pretty sure he was involved in either the Children's Crusade or House of M. I know that like an evil version of him, or like something bad happened because he was brought back to life. So I mean, I don't know the whole story, and I'm sure someone in the comments that's a little bit more familiar with it will definitely fill everybody in. When I do like a lore type video, I'm sure I'll talk about him more. You can kind of see he's got like the half face because Jack of Hearts. He can fly. I think he has super strength. I think we can test that theory. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is super. No. All right. Well, there's some. I don't know. There's like a double arm that I can pull somewhere, but I'm not gonna go searching for it too much. But yeah, there is Jack of Hearts. Next up, we have Jane Foster. In her Asgardian garb. With hair and no cancer. This is Natalie Portman, and for that, I am thankful. I can deal with Jane Foster being in the game because Natalie Portman. Definitely, I don't have a whole lot of celebrity crushes, but Anakin's mom, I'm sorry, Luke and Leia's mom, absolutely. She just totally calls in Thor when she's bored. That was kind of cool. It took me a second to pick up on that. So there you go, Jane Foster. Pretty useless as a character, but Luke and Leia's mom, she's a MILF. All right. Anyway, Jessica Jones, absolutely. What do you guys think of Jessica Jones on Netflix? Is that not the jam? Me and my girlfriend watched it all the way through together. I wasn't allowed to watch it without her, and she's not even a comic book fan, and she's addicted to it. Like, she loved it. Now we're on to the last episode of Daredevil. I've already seen it, but I watched it again with her, and she doesn't even want to watch the last episode because she doesn't want to be done with it. She likes the idea of there being something there. But Daredevil season 2 is coming soon. Jessica Jones, this is an example of Marvel being able to take a character that was like a D-level character, maybe a C-level character, and instantly transforming them into an A-level character. Like, I don't know if Jessica Jones is going to ever be an A-level character, but I think the Netflix series and her portrayal definitely at least elevates her to a B game, like the B squad, and that's okay, Like, I don't know that they really showed her powers at like an all-time high or anything, but they are going to have a season 2, and that should be interesting. So they allude to this in the show. This costume, I think, Patsy, or is it Patsy? Yeah, Patsy. I don't know. She goes by like 2 different names, but Walker, Hellcat, she ends up holding up a costume similar to this, and they make fun of it, and they want to call her Jewel, and they make fun of it. So it's pretty funny how that worked out. You know, we can't get the Netflix version of Jessica Jones. I get that, but this is pretty close. You know, this is good enough for us, I would say. Justin Hammer. Stop. Hammer time. Down, 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 down. All right, who cares? Hammer Technologies, the ex-wife missile. Yeah, it makes sense that he's in the game, that you can play as him. But whatever. Passable character, not Deadpool. Clow Henchman, you know, again, this is the type of character that TT's always going to have in the game. He's just a regular henchman type, and I'm okay with that. You know, I get it. You know, these are the type of characters, the passable, just, you know, troop mercenaries that you're going to have every game, kind of like damage control. So, not going to really complain too much. Komodo was part of the whole 50-state initiative. So that is where she comes from. And she does the whole whip attack thing. Yeah, she's a cool-looking character. I mean, they went really heavy with that era, the initiative, and you know, Young Avengers and stuff like that. So, you know, it makes sense for them to slide a couple of these characters in. Her tail falls off, and she just grows it right on back. Ooh, that was sexy. So that is Komodo. You know, whatever. I'm not like heartbroken that she's in the game. All right, now here is possibly one of the most useful characters in the game. This is Korvac, and Korvac can do a lot of things. He can do, pretty sure he does mind control. He does some fire-based attacks. He can fly, and I believe he goes through grates, and he has superpower. So you're going to find yourself with Korvac as a real go-to. Almost as much as Nova, I was using Korvac a lot. He's obviously extremely powerful. You know, they just kind of had as part of that whole weird thing where they brought back like every storyline ever. They had the Korvac saga again. So, you know, I mean, you can't really be too mad about this character being in the game. It's actually one of those type of characters that, you know, makes a little bit of sense. There was a major storyline around him at one point, so kind of cool to get him included. Looks kind of cool. Basically Human Torch-esque. But, you know, there you go, Korvac. You're going to use him a lot. He's very, very useful. Curse. This is the big bad guy from Thor. Well, one of them from Thor: The Dark World. He's a big fig. He can launch himself into the air. And he was in the last game as part of the DLC. Some form of DLC for Thor. So, you know, not really surprised to have him in here again. I just... you know, they featured Thor: The Dark World as one of the movies, so, you know that Curse was bound to follow. One of the bigger enemies you can fight in Marvel Heroes as well, so I'm all cursed out, to be honest with you. But he's cool looking, especially as big figures go. Laufey, another character that was in the last game. And again, I don't really know that they needed to use him in Thor: The Dark World, but I use him. He's kind of like my go-to. I use him instead of Loki when I want to freeze things or use like water or whatever it may be, like put out fires, stuff like that. So, you know, he's cool enough. This is the real father of Loki. And, yeah. Laura Barton, fantastic. The wife of Hawkeye, allegedly. Cool. She's in the game. The leader. Now, I've already kind of said this. I really don't know why we needed the leader in this game again. It's one of those ones that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. He's unique enough where, you know, he does these things, but I feel like leader's days are well behind him as far as being an actual relevant comic book character. So I guess I feel like, you know, this is a character that you already had. Did we really need him again? He doesn't factor into the story at all. So I just don't get why we're here with him. There's, you know, no Angela, no Medusa. No Miles Morales. You know, these are characters that are no Deadpool. These are characters that are currently Avengers. Now, I'm not going to hold Deadpool against him. He wasn't an Avenger when they were developing this game, so definitely came just a few months before launch. Like maybe like by a few, I mean actually like 2. I don't know, man. Like Leader, like the only thing I can remember Leader being involved in recently is the Thunderbolts with Red Hulk. So, alas, it is what it is. All right, here we go. Lightspeed. I don't really know a lot about this character. I've already admitted that, but my God, is she one badass character? Love Lightspeed. She obviously moves extremely fast, and she's a speed racer. And one of the surprises that I also had with Lightspeed was that she could fly, and I mean, maybe I should have known that. Absolutely love the colors that kind of come out from, whenever she moves. So Lightspeed is really, really cool. Again, definitely love that she can run like that. She also, she fights, but she can also, like, shoot stuff. Oh, no, actually, no. Shoots herself. Haha. I forgot that was a feature. She could put on this protective shield, I thought. There we go. You want to do it. There we go. Very colorful. So I love this new thing that they do where you basically lock on to a bunch of targets and the character, like, just charges after it like that and leaves like a little image projection of them behind. I feel like there's something else she can do that I'm just not thinking of, but racing, being able to run fast and fly is basically 2 different things that in one character that's pretty awesome. I wonder if you can run up the Washington Monument. Let's find out.
Which to choose?
If I can line it up. I don't think you can. Sad face. Okay. Anyway, so that is Lightspeed. I think a lot of you guys are really going to love this character. Again, I need to do more research into her. I never heard of her before. But definitely probably... I'd have to think about it. She might be my favorite female character in the game. Anyway, here we have Loki. We all know Loki, right? The god of mischief. He's got 3 different suits in this game. And what else can he do? Can you call him mirages of himself? He can. There you go. So you've got 3 Lokis right there. Which one's the real Loki? I don't know. So then you have his no helmet suit, which is literally the same thing, just without a helmet. And guess what? I guess we know which one he is there because he's the one without a helmet. But he also does the casket of winter or whatever they call that thing, where his face turns blue because, he's a frost giant. So there you go. And then he has one other costume. It is Loki in a suit. Looks very European. Fits right in. The scarf is a nice touch. Still turns blue as a frost giant when he pulls out the casket. And I wonder which one is the real Loki. They're not doing a good job here. All right, so that's Loki, and you guys will be pretty stoked about him. Lorelei. This is another Asgardian. I don't think she's good. I think she's actually bad. She hasn't really been very popular lately, but I don't know. Like, you've got a big Asgard, so you might as well have some Asgardians in there. I'm indifferent on her. She shoots stuff. She's got some superpower. She doesn't jump, or she doesn't fly. She doesn't have a weapon. No hammer is named after her. Let's go ahead. Let's look this up real quick, because I feel like I should know who Lorelei is. And Marvel. My enter button doesn't work. So, the sister of Amora the Enchantress. That's right. So... After the event of the Torah, it's assumed that she was not real, blah, 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 blah. So, Yeah, so I guess that
Just
they're
taste of my retirement.
not very good.
I'm gonna regret
So she's the sister of the Enchantress. So blah blah blah. Chose Lorelei to seduce his longtime enemy. Ah, that's right. I knew she was after Thor. She wanted a piece of him. But can you blame her? I mean, Chris Hemsworth is pretty dreamy. So anyway, let's move on to Lou Ferrigno. Now I love the fact that his voice, like they've used his voice and everything. It's really cool that they have him involved in the game, and you can definitely tell it's him by the way he talks. And then the best part about it is watch what happens when you turn him into the Hulk. That's right, he just sprays it right on, and boom, he's the Hulk. So he can launch himself, which is fantastic. He's a fun character to play as. I mean, there's plenty of Hulk characters, but having Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk is really awesome, and I definitely recommend you go do his quest like immediately when you go to Manhattan. You get some really cool characters along the way. Next up, we have Luke Cage, and I hate this version of Luke Cage. This is the same exact. This is the Power Man version of Luke Cage, the same version they had in the last game, and I'm all set with it. Like, give me Luke Cage with his beanie on and his jeans and his tough guy shirt. You know. I mean, he does all the power things and stuff like that, but I think they actually called him Power Man in the last game. But I don't know, man. Especially after the Netflix show. I mean, Mike Coulter was awesome as Luke Cage. I can't wait for his show. And it obviously has been confirmed he's going to be appearing in Iron Fist. I don't know what's next. I think Iron Fist is next after Daredevil. I actually read a rumor that Mike Coulter said they have already cast Iron Fist. So I feel like since we have him there... Oh yeah, I forgot. There you go. I'm glad I did that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Stan Lee comes to clean off the green spray paint from Lou Ferrigno. Here it comes. All clean. All right, so let's go ahead and go back. Just because, you know, we got the two heroes for hire themselves right there. Iron Fist and Luke Cage. So I can't wait. Honestly, like, Daredevil was phenomenal. Jessica Jones is phenomenal. Iron Fist and Luke Cage are the last two of the group. So I hope Iron Fist is next, because like an awesome 13-part Kung Fu series would be freaking awesome. Anyway, next up is Madam B. She was in a dream sequence with Black Widow, and I guess that made her worthy of being in the game. I think that's who this is. I really don't know or care. There's no reason you should play as her. And yes, we are calling her AKA not Deadpool. Malekith. So this is the Chris Eccleston, whatever his name is, Destro, or the Doctor, if you're a Doctor Who fan. This is his version from the Thor Dark World movie. You know, Malekith came back because of Thor the Dark World, and I think he turns invisible. No, he doesn't turn invisible. I love the ether that he kind of shoots. But anyway, Malekith came back after, in the comics, after Thor the Dark World. It was kind of a resurgence for him. And the version of Malekith from the comics around that time is freaking awesome. He might be one of the coolest bad guys, ever. He's just psychotic. And, he's just absolutely mental. And definitely want to check that out. It's when they relaunched the Thor comics before the Imposter took over. So, there you go. There's Malekith. This is Thor the Dark World. I would have much preferred him, his portrayal as he was in the comics, but he was kind of boring in the movie. I didn't have a problem with it. I liked Thor the Dark World, but I don't know. It wasn't his best portrayal. All right, so we've got two versions of Mandarin. We have the version of Mandarin, and then we have Trevor Slattery. So obviously this is from Iron Man 3, and he's just this goofball of a freaking actor that everybody thinks is really the Mandarin. And in the game, I'm not going to lie, they did a good job with him. Watch what he does when he gets bored. He starts kicking a soccer ball because he's European and he's not the Mandarin. And yeah, he celebrates. And he can't really do much of anything but shoot soccer balls at you. And that makes sense because he's not... Oh. Yep, he can do that. Alright, so here's the real Mandarin. And the real Mandarin has the rings and all that good stuff. And he's a total badass. And I think for a lot of us, Iron Man 3 was a bit of a miscalculation. I don't think it was an awful movie, but to me it wasn't Iron Man. It was like Tony Stark 007. That's what I would have called it, because he's Tony Stark doing like not Iron Man things. And you know, Robert Downey Jr. is great, and I love him as Tony Stark, but you know, he was definitely not really Iron Man in that movie. You know, don't get me wrong, I love House Party Protocol at the end, where you see all the suits flying in everywhere, but I don't know, I could have done with a traditional, you know, Mandarin. I mean, look at it, he could fly. Aldrich Killian, you know, he didn't really do much for me, he seemed kind of generic. Why couldn't you just give me a real Mandarin? Why do I have to have, you know, this imposter kicking soccer balls? Now, don't get me wrong, he's kind of hilarious, and it saves him from being part of the AKA not Deadpool crew. But, alas, let's move on to Mantis. Now, this one confuses me because this is Lego Marvel's Avengers, and here's Mantis wearing her Guardians of the Galaxy outfit. Now, there is a rumor that Mantis is going to be in Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is great. I'm all for adding more characters, especially if one of them is Richard Rider. You know I had to slip that in there. But alas, Mantis is pretty cool. You know, she does her Mantis-y things. Yeah, shoots. No flight. But, you know, it's really cool they included her in here. But Guardians of the Galaxy outfit. So, what's up with that? Why couldn't we have more Guardians? Next up, we have Maria Hill. And I'll tell you what, Maria Hill's got some sass when she's doing those voiceovers early in the game. This is What's-Her-Face from How I Met Your Mother. Can't think of her name. Colby Smolder, thanks for the assist in the background. Yeah, she's got two versions. This is definitely the hot version on the left. And, yeah. I'm telling you, though, early on in the game when she's telling you what to do, don't try to do it twice. She'll tell you. So, I love the fact that she just drops down to snipe. That's pretty cool. She can use the shield terminals, and she can pose. Look at that. She just... look at the disdain in her face. Watch. Alright, well, that's not disdain. There it is. Haha. So, like, the little details that they get right is pretty cool. Oh, she's like, oh, yeah, look at me. And then, pff, yeah. All right, anyway, that's Maria Hill. It's weird because Maria Hill in the movies isn't totally like Maria Hill in the comics. So, here's Maya Hansen, and there's Maya Hansen. That's all I have to say about her. Mighty Destroyer. Yeah, we'll list Maya Hansen as AKA not Deadpool for sure. I mean, all right, she was in the movie, whatever. She was in the storyline, whatever. Who cares? All right, Mighty Destroyer, honestly, a character I'd forgotten about. But he looks awesome. Like, this guy is just a cool-looking character, and I can see why TT wanted to include him in the game, just because he's got the look, and that's the type of thing I can appreciate. He also shrinks, which is adorable. So, let's see. I just want to do this real quick. I know that we're not in order here, but we're going to go back up to Ant-Man. We're going to shrink him. And now we have mini battles. If you can hit each other. It looks like it's like stop motion animation. It's do everything you can to fight circles around the guy. Alright, anyway. So let's go ahead and get Ant-Man out of there. And bring in Mockingbird real quick. But I'm not done with Mighty Destroyer. So there he is. He's just a cool looking character. He can go through grates. So for a little while when I didn't have Ant-Man, this was my character I was using to go through my grates. Now I basically just use Wiccan, but I'll talk about that more later. But yeah, man, just a really cool looking character. So there you go. Mockingbird. So this is Bobby Morse, aka Adrian Palacki in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I hope that she still gets her own version of the character in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. DLC. But I guess I don't know why we needed the comic version too. But, you know, hey, I'm all for it. It could be worse. She's got her batons, and she does throw them. If I can find something to throw it at over here. Nope. See, the problem is I broke everything already, so they're running out of things to throw it at. But yeah, she can throw her batons, and they just have a mind of their own. They just hit everything I aim at all at once. She's acrobatic, and she does the spinneroonie. It's funny, because in the movie, or in the TV show, she was married to, what's-his-face? I'm blanking on all these characters, but in the comics, though, she was married to Hawkeye. And when Hawkeye dies, you know, I guess they're no longer married. I guess that's how that works, right? He comes back, and it was like a big surprise to her and everything. And let's see, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know that you guys are already typing the answer like you did last time when I couldn't think of Grant Ward's name. Who am I thinking of? I'm gonna, like, as soon as I see his name, I'm gonna be like, oh, Lance Hunter. So yeah, they're on again, off again. I hear they're getting their own show, by the way, which would be kind of cool. So I know that they're trying to use Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to bring up the status of Mockingbird, and that's cool. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Adrian Palacki. Alright, so this is one of the coolest characters. He was in the last game. I'm kind of like not mad about it. This is MODOK, and MODOK is hysterical. We're just going to let him sit there for a second, and he makes the greatest faces. He really does. Alright, she does that. There it is. Like he's constantly constipated. But they let him fly this time, and he shoots stuff. And if you let him, you know, be for long enough, he'll start making comments. Look at the face he makes when he shoots out of his little eye thing. It's like he's got one that just doesn't want to come out. You can call in some AIM troopers, and you can blow up the golden bricks. So, all right, yeah, I already did this. That's where you get Falcon, by the way. So yeah, there he is, MODOK. Pretty hysterical character. I think you guys are going to enjoy him. His banter when he's just kind of sitting around could be kind of funny. Next up, we have Moon Boy, and like when I did this for Devil Dinosaur, we've got Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Now, when they initially announced these characters, I was kind of like, not for me. They're just reusing their Jurassic Park assets, but these two are lots of fun to play with. Moon Boy does some digging, and he kind of looks like Beast, so you know, if you can just give him a blue face, you can maybe make a Beast, custom Beast figure. Now, you can actually use Moon Boy while you're on top of Devil Dinosaur. I don't know why you would, but he does throw fruit, and I guess that's interesting. Devil Dinosaur is kind of funny. I wish I had something tall I could jump off of, because, well, that doesn't look comfortable. Because when he jumps off the helicarrier, he, like, flaps his little arms like they're wings, and it's just the most adorable thing ever. So, there is Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Now, they're making a comeback, but not with Moon Boy. It's going to be Moon Girl, because diversity. And, yeah, you can tell they definitely used Wolverine's face and hair. But, yeah, there you go. Moon Boy, he throws all sorts of fruit at you. It's very intimidating. And, yeah, there you go. nothing to dig. He's acrobatic, all that good stuff. So, Moon Boy, and moving from Moon Boy, we have Moon Knight. And Moon Knight is awesome. And we have Moondragon. So if you actually get all three of those together, use them, you get an achievement. I think it's called like Dark Side of the Moon or something. But Moon Knight is Marvel's Batman. And I know that some debate broke out over that when I said it in my Moon Knight video. But let's think about it. He's, millionaire that has all sorts of neat toys and gadgets. He's got his butler that, I don't know if he's a butler, but he's got his, like, personal assistant that, like, gets him all of his stuff. And the only difference is he's powered by Khonshu and has all these mystical powers and superhuman strength. And, and he's schizophrenic and batshit crazy. So, but he's awesome. He looks really cool in this game. He was in the last game, but we all like Moon Knight, so I don't think anybody's complaining that he's in this game too. Now, another thing with Moon Knight, like, Marvel has tried so many times to make this a popular character, and they've rebooted him. They've given him different authors to write his book. They've really, really tried. I really wish he would pick up because he is a really cool character. I'm not trying to make him sound generic by saying he's Marvel's Batman, but, there are comparable characters, in both sides of the comics. And, it's pretty tough not to think that, the guy that has all these gadgets and stuff like that is not, Marvel's Batman. So, except Batman never drove a taxi. So, anyway, that's Moon Knight. I could talk about him forever. He's awesome. This is Moondragon. This is Drax's daughter, and she comes into play quite a bit in a lot of the cosmic stuff that happened over the course of 2007, right through like 2012, 2013. Really the best time for comics, both on Earth and in the galaxy. When the Guardians were kind of on the come up. I mean, I know Guardians of the Galaxy were kind of a big deal before, but along with Annihilation, Conquest, and then War of Kings, Realm of Kings, and the Thanos Imperative, all that stuff. Like, honestly, if you read anything that I recommend, go read those stories. It's some really good stuff. And Moondragon factors into that pretty highly. But this is another cosmic character to me. I associate her, with Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. So, they've got Nebula too. Like, I don't understand why we're doing this. And we'll talk about Nebula. We're going to skip these two and we're going to go right to Nebula because, why wouldn't we? Let's go with this. Let's go with this. All right. So they portray Nebula. Nebula's been good and bad, but they portray her as the sister of Gamora and the daughter of Thanos in the movie. But this is definitely a comic version, and I believe these two like work together, like they're friends or whatever. But these are two characters again associated with Guardians of the Galaxy and the galactic kind of side of Marvel. So I'm not quite sure how they made it in the game and some of the other characters that are more Avenger-y, Earth-based, like, I don't know, Deadpool and Spider-Man didn't. So, but Gamora's got her swords, not Gamora, Nebula. And there's that, oh, she does the spin Rooney, right? Yeah, there it is. So, there you go. So let's move on to the two Miss Marvels. There is Miss Marvel Carol Danvers, and then there is Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. So, diversity, Kamala Khan is our first Marvel Muslim, which is awesome. She's a great character. She's kind of a stretch of Miss Marvel and Mr. Fantastic. See what I did there? A stretch. So she is basically the Mr. Fantastic of this game. Has to be, look at the way she runs. Like, I want to like get the front view of that. if I can. So yeah, there it is. Yeah, they really did a cool job with her as a character. Also, she shrinks. And nope. 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 No. She doesn't want to grow. There we go. And then, boom, she grows all big. So, you know, pretty cool stuff for her. I think you have to be kind of excited by what they've been able to do with her in the comics. And, you know, it's definitely part of their whole big diversity push. You know, having a Muslim character is definitely a big deal. And I'm glad that she's such a positive one. She's a bit of a teener, like a tween, though, for me. So, like, I just listening to her. I read recently Nova #3 of the new kind of relaunch. As much as I hate Sam Alexander, I kind of had to see what was going on. And they have her, Miles Morales, and Sam kind of out on patrol. And just reading them talk, I can only freaking imagine. They sound like a bunch of high schoolers because they are, as the high school teacher behind me maybe laughs. Anyway, Miss Marvel. So there's going to be a Captain Marvel DLC or a Miss Marvel DLC. So I'm assuming we're going to get Captain Marvel in that. Because initially I was kind of like, why'd they do this costume? She hasn't been Miss Marvel in a while. But, you know, the fact that they're doing a Captain Marvel DLC kind of makes me say, why did they just hold her out and put her in that DLC to begin with, you know? I definitely want the Captain Marvel version of the character. Carol Danvers is awesome. Definitely. Or if they were going to put, you know, her in here, I don't know why they didn't do like the Moonstone version of her, like from Dark Avengers, because that would have been pretty cool. But alas, I'm not going to complain about Miss Marvel being in here because she is pretty cool. Or Carol Danvers anyway. But Kamala Khan is awesome as well. So good stuff. Nicholas Fury, say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. All right, you can't not have Samuel L. Jackson and not do that scene. So these are the two suits of Nick Fury. I really, really wish they had like the classic Nick Fury as well. That would be really cool. I mean, I know that they've kind of got Ultimate Nick Fury, but if you followed the Original Sin storyline, you know, they're still using the OG, you know, white Hasselhoff looking Nick Fury. So it'd be nice. I understand why Samuel L. Jackson's version of Nick Fury is in here, and I don't really have a big problem with it because the Ultimate Nick Fury is in fact he is, you know, black, so I'm okay with all that. But yeah, he goes invisible. But I would like to see the original Nick Fury as well. So anyway, that's Nicholas Fury, and that brings us. I wonder who that brings us to. Look at that. Is it Nova? Are you sick of seeing me play as Nova yet? You shouldn't be, because he's the best character in the game. Spoiler alert, when I do my top 10 favorite characters, this is probably going to be #1, and it's all for personal selfish reasons, and I'm going to tell you why. We all know that I'm not really a big fan of, I'm not a big fan of Sam Alexander. I get why Sam Alexander exists. He's basically a tribute to Jeff Loeb's son. That's great. I understand. But Rich Rider is such an underappreciated character. Now, here is why this is not Sam Alexander. That helmet right there is yellow. Sam Alexander's helmet is black. That's #1. #2, he says blue blazes all the time. That is like the catchphrase of Rich Rider. So, and I tweeted at Arthur Parsons and said, yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this is Rich Rider, not Sam Alexander, so thank you, with a little heart, and he liked it. That's confirmation. I'm just saying. It's confirmation right from the top. So, you know, Nova, like, look, he's a flying character, so for most of you that don't appreciate him as a character, you know, you might not get it. He doesn't really do anything that a lot of other characters don't do. But for me, it's personal. This is my second favorite character in all of comics, you know, just behind Deadpool. So for me to be able to use him a lot, I love it. So if you really want to get into Nova, I cannot stress enough, read Annihilation Conquest. You will see a coming of age of Rich Rider where he goes from being a punk kid from the new Warriors to being a full-blown general of galactic armies. And one of the coolest scenes ever is when he literally rips the throat out from a nihilist. Like, he just totally shreds him. Not quite in a Centurion Ares kind of way, but it's pretty close. So that scene was freaking dope. I know I kind of just gave you the end game of the entire 3 graphic novel storyline, and yes, I said graphic novel to my peanut gallery. These are inside jokes that only make sense to me. So anyway, Nova. Last but not least, as we wrap up the video, we have Odin, the father of Thor and the king of Asgard. And you know, Odin was in the last game, and you know, I understand completely why he's in this game, you know, having a Thor level. So I like the fact that all the Asgardians made it. You know, it definitely, I'm a big fan of the Asgardians, so, you know, no complaints from me. Odin does what you think he would do. You know, I really don't know what else to say. I guess he imbues himself in the Odin sleep. I don't know if that's what this is, but it's got the eye patch thing going, you know. So there you go, Odin, the god of gods. So what Odin needs to do is he needs to take care of that imposter, give her her own hammer. But there we go, guys. That is part 3 in the books. And thank you, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I really appreciate all the compliments so far. I really appreciate how much you guys love it. I mean, honestly, in less than 12 hours, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and look right now. In less than 12 hours, you guys have already watched it over 1,600 times. There's 200 likes, 64 comments. I mean, that's awesome. That's part 1. Part 2 is at almost 900 views, and that's in, like, I don't know, like 6 hours. So, you know, I know you guys love this series, and I appreciate you for it. So definitely tell all your friends, and thank you. So part 4 will be out soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we out. See ya.